Among Us, bigger than Elden Reach, bigger than Overwatch. Some of the experiences on our platform have more daily actives than any one of these. So congrats to those experiences. So as we think about search and discovery, we don't want this to be a zero-sum game. We are starting to think about off-platform users finding content as well as on-platform users. To support this, we are announcing today a creator affiliate program that is going to reward you for new users you bring to Roblox. You'll be able to set up unique links for your experience. If users sign up and purchase Robux, you'll earn a share of the revenue they generate through purchases for the first 6 months. And yeah. So we want to hit a balance between the benefit of your social bringing users from off-platform. We're going to test the program with a few creators. We're going to enable them to earn up to 50% on qualified purchases. We're going to onboard creators on a rolling basis as we develop the program. We expect this to be available for all creators in the first half of 2025. Yeah. One of my favorite things, and we shared earlier that scale and perf is so important. So we're really going to be focusing, and we continue to focus on scale for performance, safety, and creation. Last week, and this is actually a pretty common thing on Roblox, we did hit a record number of concurrent users. It's powered underneath it by infrastructure that we've built that is extremely efficient and cost-effective, that now runs on 27 data centers around the world. And you might have seen it, but we've been driving perf and quality throughout our stack. We do believe perf quality is literally our biggest growth vector, and we're gonna take this very seriously. This year, you've seen focus on app launch time. We've increased streaming adoption, which speeds up join times, reduced crashes. We've really been focusing on getting to the point where Roblox never crashes. On Windows, we've eliminated over 300,000 crashes every day. Royale High saw 64% reduction in crash rates this year across all devices. Creatures of Scenaria reduced their crash rate by almost 31%. Both their own investment and our platform level physics perf improvements. These developers are really showing how perf and stability can supercharge an experience. We've also focused on frame rate and on lower end devices. Really the most difficult devices on Roblox are 2 gig and 3 gig RAM devices. We've improved average FPS by 24% for sessions with really low FPS. You're going to hear more about it on stage today, the focus we have on that. The gains have come from our tech along with our analytics dashboard, and we're just getting started here. A fun estimation, we estimate we're on track to add over 300 million hours per year of playtime purely from all our perf improvements. So once again, it's our biggest mic drop moment for just where we focus on growth. Okay, so I wanna share now a little hint of an overall vision that is driving our creator engine and user teams on our platform efforts. We know this is one thing we need to do. We are going to make it possible for you to host a high-performance, 100-player open world sports or battle royale type game on Roblox, have it run great on 2 gig of RAM devices anywhere in the world at good frame rate. We're gonna do it. Awesome. If you know Roblox, we will not stop until that is possible. We're going to drive all aspects of our engine roadmap to do it. I'm going to show you a quick peek of our Harmony architecture. We're going to talk about it more. The vision is really we're going to optimize all aspects of our engine, both client and server, balance CPU, GPU, RAM, and bandwidth, really to optimize for every user the best experience across all devices. And yes, we are looking into a Roblox native architecture for server authority for competitive gaming. We want to make it easier for you to build great content with all this scale. We've been building AI into Roblox for years. You've seen it with some of our Gen AI tools like Code Assist, Material Generator, and Texture Generator. 3 months ago, we launched an incubation project with 40 researchers and engineers to develop a Roblox-created 3D foundation model. This is an internal project. It's going to power generative creation everywhere on our platform. It's going to do it at super low cost. And our 3D foundation model will be open source and multimodal. It will power 3D generation through text prompts, video, and 3D prompts. And we see a future where not just in studio, but a time where all experiences on Roblox will be able to incorporate Gen AI to power real-time creation integrated with gameplay. Yeah. And once again, in the Roblox way of thinking, we want to make this available for all 79.5 million daily actives on our platform within your experiences. For example, we expect experiences like Build a Boat for Treasure to not just use their current creative mode, but they're going to be able to add text and voice prompts to help build boats more easily. We see this as being an opportunity for all of your experiences that support creation. And of course, as your content contributes more to the global gaming market, our commitment to safety and civility will never change. We've, since the start, have provided a global safety system that's both increasingly accurate and cost-effective, and this lets you focus on creation. Our goal has always been to make Roblox the safest place for people to connect, regardless of their age. This year, we shipped the ban API and alt account detection, which makes it easier for you to remove violating users from your experiences and to prevent them from rejoining. And as your experiences grow, our vision is you'll be able to participate in running your own community as you see fit. This is just another part of building your business. So let's talk about building your business. The Roblox economy, we did some research recently, and the Roblox economy has generated 18,000 full-time job equivalents in the US over the past 7 years. We've taken steps, yeah, that's a lot of jobs. Together, we've created a lot of jobs, so yeah, thank you. Other people not here, thank you too. We've taken steps to make it even more efficient. We expect that automatic price optimization is going to help all of you and creators thrive. And in the future, we expect users will have access to more premium and developer subscriptions. For developers, we're providing a platform for thoughtful native ads in your experience, and we're really doubled down on focusing on this as well. This year, brands like Elf Cosmetics, Fandango, and Warner Brothers started testing commerce on Roblox. For users 13 and older, they discovered clothing and beauty products in these experiences, and with a few simple clicks, these items showed up at their doorsteps. Users even bought movie tickets for Beetlejuice, the sequel that happens to be coming out today. So awesome. Early next year, we're going to allow creators to sell physical merchandise directly from within your experiences, and we plan to integrate with various e-commerce platforms. We're thrilled to announce our first partnership today with Shopify. All right. This means that if any of you sell physical goods with Shopify, you'll be able to sell them those exact same products in your Roblox experience. And longer term, we expect creators and developers to pick any eligible item currently sold through any major online retailer and sell it within your experience. Yeah. We've also been doing some outside-the-box thinking on paid access games on Roblox. And historically, most experiences on Roblox have been freemium, powered by our super efficient, cost-effective safety and infra systems. But our teams have been up late running some numbers, and I want to share with you what they've come up with. Today, we're announcing new economics for paid access experiences. You'll be able to price your paid access experience in real currency value, and we're gonna support a higher rev share for paid access games. Experiences selling at $9.99 will receive a 50% revenue share. Experiences selling at $29.99 will receive a 60% revenue share. And yeah, if your experience is priced at $49.99, the rev share is gonna be 70%. This will all be paid in real fiat currency. We're gonna start rolling this out for users on desktop this year, so stay tuned. Wow. Okay, so we've shared today our belief that together we can support 10% of the global gaming content revenue on Roblox. We're gonna now dive into more detail on how we plan to help you bring people together, how we plan to help you scale, and how we plan to help you build your business. I really have never been more excited about the future of Roblox, and we can't wait to see what you're gonna build this year. Thank you all.
Please welcome Roblox Vice President of Engineering, Anupam Singh.
Wow. Thank you, Dave, for that inspirational start to the morning. I'm Anupam, and I'm going to talk to you about artificial intelligence today. AI is already everywhere at Roblox. But why do we do AI? Why do we invest so much time in AI? It's so that you, as creators, can automate as many repetitive tasks as you have to do to create your experiences. So let's walk through creation itself. Let's walk through storytelling. When you have a story to tell or an experience to create, what do you start with? A text script. Once you have the text, you want to add vivid images to it. Once you have the images, you want to add some sound to it. But images that don't move are really boring. So you add video. Then you want to see everything from different perspectives. So you add 3D. And eventually you build it up into a scene. This entire cycle of creation can be helped with artificial intelligence. And I'm going to walk you through some examples today on what's challenging and what's interesting about AI in the context of creation. Show of hands, how many of you use AI in your daily life today? around 50% or so. And most of us use it for text. We use it to predict the next word in our sentence. A hyper-powered autocomplete, if you will. But then we want to predict images. We want to predict where pixels go. Next, when we start adding audio, that's when artificial intelligence faces some challenges today. Because it's difficult to take temporal data and build prediction into it. What I'm going to say next needs sound and words and many other modalities. But if you want to add video, now you want to predict where these pixels will go. It's not just where the pixels will stand next to each other, but where will they go? You're predicting pixels. Eventually, it becomes like a Rubik's Cube. You're trying to predict these pixels in many, many different perspectives. And then you build up to a functional scene. So think of a scene as a set of cubes that have to be collected into scenes. So that scene that you see on your screen is a bunch of cubes that have been put together. But a world where things don't move, a world where things are not functional is pretty boring. So you want to take this scene and make it fully functional. And that's what we call as the fourth dimension. And you'll see that small car move a little bit. Now, I promised you that this is about bringing your vision to life faster. And I know what most of you are thinking. Am I getting a lecture of artificial intelligence early in the morning, right? It's pretty boring. I understand that. So let's make it real. Let's take each of these things and see what Roblox is doing it. Dave showed you a sneak preview of building a racetrack experience using AI. What was really happening behind the scenes in Dave's video was all these cubes were going one after the other, predicting on how to build a racetrack, then build a mountain in it. Then once you build the mountain, you want to build the background. And so you'll hear me say the word cube again and again and again. But then I want to make it nicer. So I build a desert. This is what we call enhancement. And then I want to expand it, which is the trees and the forest that we added to this scene. So we went from the idea of a scene to generate it, then enhanced it, and then expanded it. All of these is powered by the 3D foundation model. As Dave mentioned, we have 40 people working on a foundation model that will create scenes, that will enhance scenes, that will expand scenes. Our intention is to open source most of the weights of this foundation model. Next, if you have a racetrack, you want a driver. How to get that driver? Well, in the world of AI, your user would just put in a text prompt. And I want that driver to look more than just a driver. Because this is Roblox, we want to make it look like an astronaut. So we take that avatar, enter our text prompt. We can take a bunch of sliders back and forth. And boom, you have a racetrack driver that looks like an astronaut. Very cool. And we've been working on it as the avatar auto setup feature. We've already had it in development, and 8% of avatar bodies are being auto set up. So that's the racetrack and the driver. But what about the car? Making a car fully functional in artificial intelligence is a pretty difficult problem. What you just saw was our ability to take a car chassis, add doors to it, add wheels to it. And that's the fourth dimension. This is active area of research. Roblox is one of the few companies on the planet that can actually build a four-dimensional functional world. But that car was pretty generic. Again, we want to make it a little bit more Robloxian. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that car, and we're going to lop off the top of the car. all we'll have is a chassis. So all of you who deal with geometry every day can think about taking the chassis, and then we are going to make it into a sofa car. Who doesn't want a sofa car here, right? A sofa and a car together. All of it can be done simply by putting a text prompt saying, give me a sofa car. That's predicting shape and geometry. You get the gist. We are predicting much, much, much more than just text, which is what most of the large models do today. This feature, we call it text to shape, and it is in development, and we will ship it soon. We took the car, we made it into a sofa car, but we want to make it more attractive. So we are going to take some decals. We're going to take that image prompt and say, put it on my car, and that's it. This part is called textures. We've released it. It's in development, but we've released it to some of you, and 420,000 textures have already been generated. So every modality in 3D is being generated across Roblox. We have the racetrack, we have the driver. What do we need now? Maybe we can have Dave kick it off.
Today is a beautiful day for a race at the Roblox racetrack. Estamos entusiasmados para que isso comece.
What just happened? I did not know Dave could speak Portuguese. I don't think so. It's actually speech translation by our AI model, which in line went from English to Portuguese without us doing anything. Today, yeah, you can applaud. Today, we have translated 17 billion chat messages, which is a very large number per month. Using our text-to-text translation, we are now working on text-to-speech, speech-to-text. All of this will be available to you as creators to incorporate into your experiences. But when you put two drivers on a racetrack or more, what happens? We get competitive. We start being rude to each other. We start cursing each other. I'm guilty of it. But this is Roblox. Safety and civility are so important to us as a community, as a company. So our safety team decided to build an inline, real-time voice safety model that if two drivers in this case are being rude to each other, we would immediately give a warning. And if you continue to be rude, we will suspend you. Okay? The technology is amazing, and this is the real-time voice safety model. One of the best on the planet. Only our safety team could have done it. I'd like to give them a round of applause for keeping the internet safe. This is in production. 33 million voice messages have been moderated per month. And then we decided, why not make the internet safe rather than just Roblox? So we open sourced the model. Anybody can go to GitHub, download it, and use this model to make their experience safe, not just Roblox. Amazing work. Next, when I started programming, you had to open manuals, and then you had to Google something, and then you have to figure the syntax out. And while I'm saying all this, Roblox Assistant just took a prompt and generated a ton of code. I can't even keep up with it. It's so fast. It's taken a daytime racetrack, converted it into a nighttime racetrack, added street lights to it, and those street lights switch on and off depending on whether it is day or night. Everything that I explained to you is a ton of work by our creator team to build Roblox Assistant for all of you so that you can code faster. A round of applause to our creator team for building this amazing product. Again, this is in production. 1.5 billion tokens. It means 1.5 billion times we have helped some creator finish their thought in code, which is pretty exciting for a geek like me. It's already live. Okay, I promised you, AI is everywhere at Roblox. We have 250 models in production. Anytime you create on Roblox, anytime you use Roblox, you might be accessing one of these models. And because we're very proud of invisible infrastructure, we don't want you to know that, oh, I'm using this model versus that. I wanted to list all 250 models and describe each one of them. But the marketing team sadly said no. So I'm going to give you just a sneak peek of the models that you already use: Docs AI, Code Assist, Avatar Auto Setup, recommendations, search, moderation models, and many more. We will continue to invest in AI so that you can create faster. You can automate most of your tasks, repetitive tasks, so that you can get to building an experience faster. And finally, I know most of you access some large model or the other. Almost every creator in the world, every programmer in the world is accessing large models. We are working on APIs to access any large model, whether it is open source, whether it is closed source, in your daily programming. And you'll hear more about APIs for large models in the next few months. Thank you very much. Have a great RDC.
Please welcome back David Bazuki, with Roblox Senior Product Director of Engine, Josh Annan, and Senior Engineering Director of Platform Excellence, Karenina Motion.
Go. Okay, welcome back. In the middle of my talk, I talked a little about perf quality and scale and why it's so important to us. So we've got two members of the team out, Josh from the engine group, Karenina from the user group, and we're gonna talk perf and scale, and you'll get to hear what we're working on. I wanna start with something you might not all know, which is a huge focus on something as insignificant sounding as app launch time. The CEOs in Silicon Valley compare scroll speed and app launch time of all of their apps. We're really focused on this. But why is it so important?
It is incredibly important. We found that, well, we all know pretty much, that we love snappy feeling apps. And so when you launch the app, that means that you're not waiting. If you're waiting for that to load, that's a lot of time taken away. So the faster the app loads, the more time people are engaged with the app, and we see a correlation between the two.
Okay, and then what is our slightly humorous target that we're always talking about for app launch time?
Your ambitious goal that you mention at every meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 0.
That's right, okay. Which no one in the world does, so it's impossible, but that's our goal.
Well, I'm glad you realize it's slightly impossible,
Yeah.
but we'll get there. We'll get close.
Okay, so I know we launched PlayStation less than a year ago. It's a specific area where we put incredible focus. We're doing it on every device, but let's use that as an example. What's happened on PlayStation for all of us who build for PlayStation or play on PlayStation?
Well, we've saved about 40% of that launch time. So we've had about a 6-second reduction in the first half of this year. And it's a bit about relentless drive and focus to improve the launch time. In that case, what we've done is that we've optimized the network calls, and so done the homepage prefetching before we load the Lua app. And we've done similar work across PC, and in that case, we've optimized our data model. And also seen maybe we don't need to load the audio and the video because you don't need that for the homepage. So we've done that sort of work in order to improve the launch times across different platforms.
Okay, well, I can feel it every time I launch our mobile app. And I think, I shared earlier, our research was 18,000 full-time job equivalents in the US. Talking about people's time and other metrics, I know you might have a number around just raw time people have saved with app launch time.
Yeah, this year we are now saving nearly 40,000 total hours daily by shortening the time people wait to launch.
Yeah. So 40,000, that's like 1,000 person weeks of work. So
It's an annual savings of 15 million hours.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're literally making the world a better place by cutting app launch times.
We're trying.
Okay, awesome. So we're on a crusade of app launch time. Hey, Josh, another theoretical question, crash rates, which is every app crashes at some frequency. What's our target for crash rates?
Our target is 0.
All right.
And that's not a joke.
Notice
okay,
the
that's
thing.
serious.
That is serious.
And we believe that's almost achievable.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to keep working at it.
What are we focused on there?
So we've been doing a lot of things. Now, one of the biggest things we've been doing this year is really putting a microscope to every single aspect of the engine. And we're not just looking at things like how much memory we use, we're looking at really technical things, like how fast we ask for that memory. Because in some devices, if you ask too fast, it can cause crashes and other problems. We've made huge improvements. Like in our voice chat library, we've reduced the allocations per second over 20 times. That's a huge win in user experience.
Okay, and just like I shared earlier, our aspirations on supporting 100-person sports open world battle royale, what's the most difficult devices for memory?
Oof, resource constrained, 2 gigabyte Android devices. There are so many of them globally with so many chipsets, so many manufacturer customizations, so many driver challenges. It is really hard.
Yeah.
So that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, and just highlighting, we're very appreciative for those devices. They sell for very low cost. They allow a lot of people to play Roblox, but we still see 2 gigabyte Android devices. So when we climb the chain to streaming, can you share a little bit about our vision if someone happens to be using a streaming experience and the experience is, say, the state of California, what's the benefit from memory on that situation?
Yeah, so what's great about streaming, it's funny, is even today, this morning, we've talked about streaming's benefits for join time. But streaming really lets us dynamically manage what's loaded and not on your device. And that makes it so that we could have California loaded on one of those resource-constrained devices. What we're seeing that's really cool is as developers adopt streaming, their join times aren't just getting faster, their crash rates are plummeting. Jailbreak just adopted streaming a bit ago, and their crash rate is down almost 75%. That's a huge win with a pretty simple change.
Okay, so I keep asking if a creator has streaming on and then we add Harmony, which is balancing CPU, GPU, RAMs, networking, all of that, that does create a theoretically no crash environment. Can you talk more about Harmony?
Yeah, Harmony and streaming is absolutely how we're getting to 0 crashes. So some of you know that our engine actually automatically scales based on your device's capabilities. It's pretty unique to Roblox. The past couple years, we have been completely overhauling how that scaling works. And we're improving 2 key things. One is we're making the system predictive. And the second is that we're making it so that it can orchestrate all aspects of the engine. Now, it's a little confusing to understand, so how about we look at a video?
Yeah, cool.
So, can you play the video? All right, so what we see here is we have an experience where we're using streaming to load it in. So you see it load rateably. But then in the background, we get to the set of buildings. And Harmony is able to predict that a crash is about to happen. And it's able to work between streaming and LOD to stop that crash from happening. So it's a pretty nice improvement.
Yeah, so I think, ultimately, theoretically, we should be able to never crash if we're using streaming and Harmony. We'll load as much of the world as possible.
Yes.
And you mentioned Harmony, or we talked about it managing GPU as well, which leads us into something else we would all like is 240 hertz on every device in the world, including that low-end Android device, which is really difficult. How are we doing with FPS?